You're watching VATV, bringing Brookline home.
Why, everywhere you go, sunshine follows you. Everywhere you go, skies are always blue. Children love you, they seem to know. You bring roses up from the snow. Oh, the whole world says hello. Everywhere you go.
Welcome to the Seymour, Alen, Ziskend Show and All Ships at Sea, broadcasting from Brookline, Massachusetts, the United States of America. And here is your host, the one and only Seymour, Alen, Ziskend. Take it away, Seymour.
So great to be back with all you people out there. Time comes and goes quickly. Well, we have a really interesting show for you. But this segment of our show is the Armed Forces, and we're featuring the United States Marines. It gives me great pleasure, and it's an honor to welcome Gunnery Sergeant Jonathan Bly.
Pleasure to be here, Seymour. Thank you very much for having me.
It's an honor to have you as a Marine.
Thank you, sir.
And I want you to take notice of the sergeant's uniform and his cap. I tell you, that branch of the service really knows how to dress. Now, what he does, he travels the Northeast talking about the United States Marine Band. You may have heard of this through the old maestro, John Philip Sousa, who was a Marine. And I'm not going into that. My guest may wish to. So with that in view, again, welcoming you, and it's your show from here on in.
Thank you, sir.
So Sergeant, take it away.
Appreciate that very much, sir. Well, like you said, Seymour, John Philip Sousa is definitely one of our most proud and historied members of the Marine Band. And it's definitely a pleasure to be associated with him and his legacy, because it is such a great legacy. One of the most, he's known as the March King, and definitely wrote some of the most glorious marches in the world, in the history of the world, to include our national march, the Stars and Stripes Forever. With that, and like you said, I do part of my job now as a Marine musician is to travel the northeastern United States. All right, and what I do is I audition all applicants who wish to be a part and a member of the Marine Band program. Additionally to that, I definitely talk about the program in its entirety and inform the public, because it is a little known fact that we do have a music program. Most people envision Marines as just the guys on the ground and the guys fighting the battle. But we do have over 330 jobs in the Marine Corps, which people can aspire to be and be a part of, as well as those career opportunities in general. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, to these people watching the show, it is a great profession. Think about it. Anyway, you continue. I just had to say that because it is.
It is. It's been an absolute honor, to not only serve my country for the last 14 years, but to get to do it as a professional musician is just amazing to me. I've had the time of my life traveling the world, traveling the country, playing the universal language of music, and it's been phenomenal to me.
And I also want you people to know he's married with 2 sons. So think of the sacrifice his wife and children make with him traveling with the United States Marine Corps. It's really a wonderful family life where they're united and they have that one goal to stay together. Sorry about that.
No, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And fortunately for me, my wife is a former Marine.
Is she really?
She is herself, yeah. So she's tough as nails.
Well, I believe it.
So
you know how to take orders.
exactly right. Exactly right. But no, she's good. She's actually a former pianist in the Marine Band. We met in Okinawa, Japan, in 2002 when we were both stationed there. And hit it right off and got married soon after.
Really?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And in fact, little known fact is that the Marine Corps not only hire trumpet players and brass players and woodwind players, but we also hire members of the rhythm section. Myself, I'm a bass player by trade. I play electric bass and upright bass a little bit. But we also have vacancies for guitar players, piano players, and drummers as well.
I think that's great.
It is.
So you people watching the show out there, we've got some good opportunities for you.
That's right. That's right.
Keep recruiting. You're doing well.
No, I appreciate that very much. Yeah, and primarily, basically, a big question that I get a lot of the times, well, how does that whole thing work? What's the process? Well, the process is this. First and foremost, what most people do is they go and visit their local Marine Corps representative or their recruiter. They ask them a whole bunch of questions to see if they're qualified for military service. And at that point, they say, and I'm very interested. I'm a musician. I'm very interested in the Marine Band program. And at that point, they get in contact with me, and I cover everybody, like I said, in the northeastern United States. So everywhere from Virginia all the way up through Pennsylvania and all of New England. And what I do at that point is I contact those individuals, and I see if they have the prerequisite skill set to join the program, and if they don't, I kind of steer them in the right direction as far as, okay, you can work on this, work on that, and then we can come back and we can get together for an audition. The audition process is this. It's a 3-part audition for woodwinds and brass instruments. First thing we do is they have a prepared piece, very similar to a college level audition. To gain entrance in the college level music program. The first thing we do is a solo. The next part we do scales, so I'm looking for all major scales, natural minor scales, harmonic minor scales, melodic minor scales. Then the third part is sight reading, which tends to trick a lot of people. It's difficult to sight read, so basically what we do is we put the music that they've never seen before and say, okay, you got about 20 seconds, go ahead and look it over, and then read it down. And then I count them off, and they have to play it as best they possibly can right there on the spot. And the reason we do that is because sight reading is a very important part of our music program. An average Marine band will perform in between 300 and 500 performances per year. If you do the math, that's almost more than one a day, one every single day. So we do not have much time to prepare as Marine musicians for specific performances. So the ability to sight read is very important to us, and that's definitely a skill that you develop over time as a musician. And and going back to the audition process, so those are the 3 parts, so scales, solo, and sight reading. Now, if all that goes well, then they can enlist in the United States Marine Corps and be guaranteed the opportunity to perform in the Marine Band. So
I think it's fascinating.
It is very unique
and interesting.
Yeah, it's a very unique career opportunity as a professional musician.
Yes, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I know I would enjoy that sort of life, really.
Yeah.
Because I come from a musical family.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yes. My sister was a pianist.
Oh, very good.
I play the piano a little bit. Of course, they say I'm pretty good, but anyway, my brothers, my father played the accordion. So, I mean, my family are musical, and I love music.
Oh, very good.
So having you here to me it's a bonus, really.
I appreciate that very much.
So nice, yes.
Appreciate that very much.
But however, I don't want to interrupt. You continue on.
No, please. Well, going back to the process, I guess I'll go there. So once they join the Marine Corps and they pass the audition with me, basically what they do next is they go to boot camp. The same Marine Corps training that all Marines go through. The initial process we call recruit training. People from that reside east of the Mississippi, they all go to boot camp at Parris Island, South Carolina. That's a 13 weeks of some pretty intense training. From there, then they'll come home for about 10 days. We call it boot camp leave. So they get to spend time with their family, go show off the new uniform that they've earned, and then then after that, then they go to Marine combat training, which is about 21 training days, where they all, they learn basic infantry tactics, weapons handling, weapons safety, and things like that. And then from there, everybody splits off and they go to their own individual school where they learn their job. So a cook will go to culinary school, a radio operator will go to 29 Palms and learn how to operate and manage field radios. And musicians, we all go to the Armed Forces School of Music in Virginia Beach, Virginia, at the Little Creek Naval Amphibious Base, or I believe now it's actually the Expeditionary Base. And that's a 6-month program where people learn more about music theory. We'll do ear training. They'll do a lot of performance and a lot of practicing, and basically gain more proficiency on their own individual instrument. And upon graduation in the Armed Forces School of Music, they'll go out to one of 10 Marine bands located throughout the country and throughout the world, actually. Like I said earlier, I met my wife in Okinawa, Japan. That's one of the most fantastic duty stations if you're interested in travel.
Really?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous place. I'd go back in a heartbeat if they let me. But,
No winter there.
what's that, sir?
There's no winter.
No. It gets a little chilly, but
Right.
but there's no snow. It's a subtropical island, in the South Pacific. So it's just absolutely
I
gorgeous.
was at Kwajalein,
Okay.
and it's just fabulous.
It is. It's beautiful. We actually we have another Marine band at and located in Hawaii. Another fantastic place. I haven't been there yet. I'm trying to get there before I retire.
Quite a place.
Absolutely. We have 3 bands located in Southern California, on the San Diego area. We have a band located in New Orleans, and we have 4 bands located on the East Coast, ranging from Parris Island, South Carolina, where all Marine recruits go to recruit training east of the Mississippi, all the way up to Quantico, Virginia, just maybe 45 minutes south of D.C. Each band, interestingly, is staffed with 50 Marine musicians and 1 officer and 1 primary director. We call him our band officer. Each band is staffed like a typical wind ensemble. Like I referenced earlier, we hire woodwind players, brass players, trumpet, trombone, French horn, tuba.
Tuba.
Tuba, yes, sir.
Was that Sousa tuba? He put
played
together
everything.
a tuba. John Philip
Oh,
Sousa.
yes, sir. The sousaphone.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Made it easier for tubas to march.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely named after him. A lot of people don't know that.
I know that.
Yeah. He has another one too called the klaxophone, the klaxon. He wrote a march called the klaxon. Basically, what he did was he took old car horns and made an instrument part for these old car horns, and they'd play those while they were in concerts. Very funny.
We're speaking now about John Philip Sousa, and he was a conductor.
Yes, sir.
He was also a writer of music,
Mm-hmm.
and I understand he wrote over 100 pieces of music.
Oh, yes, sir. Easy.
And I'm trying to recall what music did he play for the Marine Band? No, I mean one piece of music the Marine Band uses now, and I'm trying to remember which one that was.
Look, there's quite a few marches that that he
Yes.
obviously made famous. Like I referenced earlier, his most famous march, probably the Stars and Stripes Forever, which is our national march. He has a couple others, Semper Fidelis, which is the official march of the United States Marine Corps, and several others. But like you said, he wrote over 100 marches that we still use today in ceremonies and in concerts.
This is a nice time for me to forget that. But
Quite all right.
he was known as the Marching King.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
By heavens.
Yeah, absolutely. So we still we do our best to carry on those traditions that he laid for us. And like I said, we still play a lot of his marches. Another mission that we have as Marine musicians is obviously to carry on the traditions of the Marine Corps, the Marines that came before us. And we do that in our ceremonies. We do a lot of ceremonies. It's a big part of who we are as United States Marine musicians. Ceremonies such as maybe a change of command ceremony. Every year on the 10th of November, which is coming right up, we have one of probably our most favorite day of the year as Marines, but it's the Marine Corps Birthday Ball. And every year on the 10th of November, every Marine, no matter where they are in the world, they all get together and they celebrate the Marine Corps birthday by cutting a cake. And there's a long ceremony that goes with that, and obviously the band is a large part of that ceremony. So
That's so great. It's unifies the Marines when you hold those gatherings.
Oh, yes,
brings
sir.
them together. And we need more of that in our society.
I agree, sir.
But do you have vocalists?
I am not. I'm a terrible
No, I don't
vocalist.
mean you. I mean, do they have vocalists?
No, we don't have an official spot for vocalists, but you will see Marines singing quite often. A good friend of mine and my former drum major, Gunnery Sergeant Charles Glimka, he would sing, God Bless the USA and God Bless America all the time, like San Diego Chargers game, and he did a fantastic job. Another good friend of mine, Staff Sergeant Ken Ebo, who's the trombone instructor at the Armed Forces School of Music. He's a fantastic vocalist, and every time we get together and have a jazz band that we play at, he sings a variety of Frank Sinatra charts and Michael Bublé charts and things like that. So,
Really?
oh, yes, sir. So plenty of opportunities for good vocalists as well.
I'm just trying to come up with what he wrote, and I can't think of that piece of music.
Oh, it's quite all right, sir.
But what type of music does the band play beside marching music?
Oh, that's a great question. A big part of our program is versatility, because all Marine musicians need to have the ability to perform in a variety of different capacities. An average Marine band will field close to 10 different ensembles in a variety of different capacities. We talked about the marching band. We have a ceremonial band. We have a wind ensemble, which plays a variety of different classical music, classical literature, symphonic music, and things like that. We have a jazz ensemble, 1940s, 1950s style big band.
Really?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a great time. That's really where we start to employ the rhythm section members, and again, drummers, trumpet players, trombones, saxophones, and things like that. We also feel the big part of our mission as rhythm section players, like I am myself, is we have jazz combos that go out and tour all across the country. And a jazz combo is basically, it's a small jazz group comprising of a rhythm section, and maybe a few wind players, like a trumpet player, very similar to like Dizzy Gillespie or Charlie Parker, like that type of setting. We also field a variety of different chamber ensembles, from brass quintets to large brass ensembles, woodwind quintets, and things like that, and any kind of small woodwind group that we can put together. And we also have a variety of different other bands. I remember when I was in Okinawa, Japan, I took a rock band on tour. We were just playing covers and things like that. And we toured Australia for a little while. It was a lot of fun.
You were there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was playing bass for that
You
group.
did a lot of traveling.
A lot of traveling, yes, sir. I've been to probably over 20 different countries in my career. So, 20 countries in most of the states. I'm still missing Alaska and Montana, I think, and Hawaii. But yeah, a lot of traveling, a lot of fun.
Well, I hope they transfer you to Hawaii. You'll really like that.
My wife will definitely appreciate it, yes, sir.
I tell you, it's a glorious place to be.
Yeah, I've heard. Definitely seen some
My
good
wife
pictures.
loved it when we were there.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I bet. Oh, I bet. That's fantastic.
Any place where my wife could shop, she had a great time.
I think our wives are very similar.
Yes, they don't. So tell me, I would like to set up sometime in the future, if we can, a combo.
Okay.
And we could have a combo here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that would work fine. So when you come up with a date, let's go for it. But of course, December is out.
Yeah.
January, February, you never know with the weather. That's the unfortunate part.
Yeah, definitely.
But when you come up with a date, we'll try to meet that date.
Sure.
That
Yeah.
should be a
I'd
very,
love to.
very interesting show.
Yeah. I know some great guys that would love to come on the show and
Absolutely.
And perform. Yeah, it'd be a great time.
And you people out there will have a fabulous time singing with these guys over there. By the way, are they all male, or do you have some females mixed in?
We do have females. I don't know the exact statistics, but I want to say maybe about
No, I mean roughly.
in between about 10 and 50% of the Marine Corps is female, somewhere in there.
That sounds like a great show. If you like music. I don't know many people that don't. So tell us more about this now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what would you like to know? Is there anything specific?
Yes. Where do you go from here? In other words, you travel the eastern states.
Yes, sir.
So where would your next show be?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not playing very much anymore. So actually, my next show is going to be today on this show. I'm going to play a little bass guitar for you, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
Very good. But like I said, my job now is to do nothing but to recruit musicians and allow them and teach them how to gain entrance into the program, as well as just spread the word about the program. And that's really what I'm doing here today is you know, trying to get this unique opportunity out on the forefront so musicians are aware about it and consider this maybe a viable option for the future, at least to gain the information that they're looking for, you know, as they you know, progress in their lives. So I can't tell you how many musicians I've talked to that you know, that have, you know, aged out of their opportunity for military service, and they really regret not having these opportunities, you know, when they were coming up as young musicians.
Well, with this time, I'm going to ask you to play something for us.
I'd love to, sir.
Great, let's go for it.
Sounds good. I'm going to perform a short bass solo that was made famous by one of the greatest bass players that ever lived. His name was Jaco Pastorius, and one of his most famous songs is his rendition of "America the Beautiful," which I seem to be fitting. So.
That was beautiful.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
By heavens. Can you play another one?
Sure.
The show was yours.
All right.
So this is it.
All right, sounds good. I haven't played this one in a while, but this is a song called Mia by another famous bass player named John Patitucci from the New York area.
That was really beautiful. By the way, that song that John Philip Sousa wrote, Stars and Stripes Forever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, absolutely.
And let just for a moment talk about him.
Okay.
As I recall, he was born in 54.
Sounds about right.
Right. And he learned to play the violin. And I believe he was 14 years old when his father enlisted him in the Marines, in the Marine Corps band. And he spent most of his life growing up as a Marine in the band.
Oh, I didn't know that, sir.
Yes. And when he was 21, he retired from the Marine Corps, and he formed another band. And he traveled the world, many foreign countries with his band. But eventually, he came back to the Marine Corps.
That's right.
And that was his happiest moment, coming back. And he passed away in 1932. And the music he wrote still lives today, which means he's still living with us.
Absolutely.
And I think it's so wonderful. There are so many pieces of music that the Marines are noted for. From the halls of Montezuma
to the shores of Tripoli.
You got it. As a matter of fact, we should have a team made up. Well, we've only got a couple more minutes to go, and I must tell you, I've enjoyed every moment of it. But before we end the show, tell us about how one can join the Marines and what their future could be. It's a great profession.
Absolutely, yes, sir. And that's a great question, because a lot of people don't understand how this process works.
It's a good way to end the show.
Absolutely. The first and foremost, the easiest thing to do is just to find your local Marine Corps representative, and they're all over the place. There's definitely one in every part of the country. So the easiest thing to do would be Google Marine Corps recruiter in your area. Once you find him, they are professionals, and they will walk you through the entire process of how to join the United States Marine Corps. First and foremost, if you find them, ask all the questions you want to ask, gather all the information you need to make that informed decision. And as far as the career piece goes, a career is definitely what you make it in the United States Marine Corps, and you can go a long, long way and have a very, very rewarding time. As long as you choose to stay, whether that be 4 years or 40 years. So it's really what you make it. You can travel the world, you can gain education benefits through the tuition assistance program, the Montgomery GI Bill, the post 9/11 GI Bill. You can really achieve that pride of belonging that a lot of people look for in joining this organization. You can definitely gain some courage, poise, and self-confidence as well. So the opportunities are endless, and it really is what is important to you, and what can not only what can you get out of the Marine Corps, but what can you bring to the Marine Corps as well.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
It's a way of life. It's a good way of life.
Yes, sir.
And one should not avoid that type of life.
Absolutely not.
Well, we've reached the end of our session, and I'd like you to end it.
Yes, sir.
Whatever way you wish. How would you like to end the show?
Well, first off, I'd like to say thank you very much for having me. It was an absolute pleasure, and it was a pleasure speaking with such a great American sir. And I'd like to end the show by saying Semper Fidelis, which is a United States Marine Corps motto and means always faithful.
Yes, and to you people out there, I hope you enjoyed this show, and you'll be back again with us, because we're going to have many more interesting shows for you. We've got to get the best because we are the best. So for now, bye-bye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, sayonara, tsai chen, shalom, and be well. Bye-bye.